Fletcher draws a mouth, Martin draws the eyes, grab the corner of the paper, rip the logic from the room. It starts as a deadly, a quiet sort of monster, but the wrist snaps. Now it is a Dreadly, looking right at you, looking right through you. It is flipping crazy, flipping crazy, head turning, gravity is gone, the Odditome is open, flip it now.
Aloha, it's Jason from Hawaii. Welcome to a special edition of the Comics for Fun and Profit podcast. In this episode, listeners, we are in for a treat. I will be interviewing an award-winning career creative director, comic industry veteran, visual wizard, toy maker, toy collector, musician, lover of comic books, and the world-renowned Oddibiologist, James Silent Fletcher.
You stole so many accolades. I don't think I can live up to all that. That was pretty impressive.
All right, listeners, like I said, we're gonna have a ton of fun with this, because when I was reading the public relations stuff, about because they put like James S. Fletcher, and they joke around in parentheses, the S is silent. I have to put James Silent Fletcher.
I'm keeping it from now on. I mean, as long as I don't stay silent with your questions, it should work, right? So,
yeah. So again, listeners, we're going to have great fun. Just get ready. This is going to be a topsy-turvy interview. We're gonna, Jim is here to promote his Flippitoons Odditome of Deadlies and Dreadlies Volume 1. Now, this is a Clover Press Kickstarter, and the campaign starts on May 20th. And there's already the launch page up. So, please go, if you're interested, please, go to the notification page and just, hit that notification button, to be notified when the Kickstarter launches. Like I said, we're going to have so much fun today. The main things, we're going to promote the Kickstarter, but we will go off track. We're going to talk about his love for comics, Marvel comics. So we're going to talk about action figures, statues. And unfortunately, this is only an audio podcast, because he's done some of these Flippitoons. He's like made actual Flippitoons. And it's so cool, and it's sad that I can't show this to you guys, because I don't have the body for YouTube.
Me either. So that's good. Well, we're both going to work on it, right? So that was our New Year's resolution.
Yes.
There goes YouTube bodies.
All right, Jim, welcome to the Comics for Fun and Profit podcast. How are you doing today?
Hey, man, thanks for having me. I'm super excited to talk to you about all this stuff. I mean, if we, talking about stuff, we're going to be like 3 hours. So I hope people are in for a long listen. No, but I'm very excited, man. I'm, this project's been the back of my head for a long time. And now that I'm no longer at Warner Brothers, I'm really excited. I've been able to spend a lot of time getting this thing out of my head onto paper and making some stuff. And I'll be also at San Diego Comic-Con at a booth. Stupidly, I forgot the booth number, but I can follow up with
that. That's okay. Now, as Jim has mentioned that, he's worked for Warner Bros., but more specifically, and Jim, feel free to jump in and correct me. Now, Jim was a creative director of DC Direct. He was a creative leader for all of the DC collectibles. He's done that for a number of years. Like during his DC career, he designed the uniforms, designed vinyl figures. He co-founded the fan favorite DC Bombshell line, and he guided the Batman Black and White statue series that has included more than 100 statues. Jim, I'm going to say, do you want to add anything to that? Because I know you've mentioned you've done other,
Well, yeah, there was a lot of stuff. DC Direct was very productive in the 15 or so years I was there. I also created a line called Ami Komi, which was all, I used to work on Dragon Ball before I came to DC.
Oh, okay.
Up at Irwin Toys. And when I came to DC, I kind of brought that idea into DC, and we did like years of these like manga themed versions of the female characters, which I got to design. I would draw them on the train on the way into work, and then we would go ahead and do it. So that was a fun project. We got to work with a lot of great artists, everybody from, Jim Lee and Adam Hughes and Alex Ross. And, I can't even name them all. There was Libra Mayhem. I mean, there were so many. If I start looking around, we could just talk about that for a couple hours. But we did I think, a really good job producing a lot of really, fan favorite statues that people and action figures that people loved. And it was really great. It gave me a lot of opportunities to meet a lot of people. But now I'm, and then after that, I went to Warner Brothers Consumer Products and was working with, Sideshow and McFarlane Toys and all these other people. So Hot Toys, some really great partners. And I grew up reading comic books. I love comic books. Like you said earlier, I've read Marvel, I've read DC, I read some independent stuff. I read a lot of manga. So I'm like all over the place with the comic books.
No, but it's not like you're all, but it's, it gives you, but you have a broad horizon that you could grab things from and go, okay, let's see what chemicals can I pour in and what can I create?
That's kind of why I decided to call myself a visual alchemist when I left DC, because I'm like, there's so much stuff to pull on. I mean, I have a lot of stuff, like a lot of the Flippitoons, I don't really know where they come from. They just start coming out of the paper. I just start scribbling stuff. But I mean, I guess I could say I'm a very well-rounded comic book reader.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to go for. Yes.
Yeah. So it's great.
So Jim, I'm going to say, okay, so we talked a little bit about actually, before I continue, please tell listeners, because you showed me this before the interview, please tell me your favorite comic book.
Okay. My very favorite comic book I actually read until the cover fell off, so I had to go buy another one at a convention. I think I got my newer copy at WonderCon a few years ago, but it's Thor 171. That is my all-time comic, and I was even going to grade my other one, but it doesn't even have a cover, and the staples are all rusty. But just so I have it, like I didn't want to get any more damage. It'd probably be like a 2, or if they'd even grade it, maybe a 1. I don't know. But I love that comic. It's the one that launched my whole career, because I was so into the comic book. I actually wasn't paying attention in class. A teacher grabbed it from behind me and was like, "What are you reading?" And he's like, "Oh, this is Thor. We're studying this Norse mythology in the next segment of whatever it was, junior high school." And he calls up Marvel Comics and said, "I caught one of my kids. What is this? Reading this comic. I don't know what this is." So Marvel actually sent issues to the class for the whole rest of the time. I forgot how many issues it was, but they sent some in because we kept reading. And that, first of all, that's a great way to teach. That's amazing. And I mean, it made, and as much as I love that issue, it made it even more for me, because I never forgot that. Like, I've read a lot of comics, but this one, it just stuck with me the whole time. And then, so that was my absolute favorite comic that I always tell people.
But the thing I love is that, that you showed me, like, before we started, was, you still had your original, even though the cover is, no, but it's kind of like, this is mine. This is the first one. I'm not gonna, nobody's not gonna throw this away. This is
no. I have, and I read, like, I have a lot of my Silver Age stuff flying around. I mean, they're all, a lot of them are pretty beat up, because I read them. My friend down the street, this guy Billy Rezick, who was my best friend growing up, like, we both read comics, and we really read them. And then they were like, at the time they were like disposable pop culture, but I never threw mine out, even though, because I just love them, love the artwork. So I learned how to draw in the beginning. I was tracing Jack Kirby, and then like John Buscema came along and started drawing, and so many great artists. That was cool too, because when I actually ended up at DC Direct, we're working with all these guys who were like man, like I can't believe I'm meeting this guy like Carmen Infantino. You get to meet all these people that are active now. Some of them are a little older, like George Perez, and people like that we would work with at the time. And it's just super cool. You're meeting these people. You grew up reading this stuff when I was like a kid, and I'm like, oh man, like I'm like Frank Miller was another one. I'm like, man, I'm working with this guy now. That's so cool.
Also, too, Jim, I'm going to give you an opportunity. Please talk about your love of music.
Oh,
Because,
thank you. Yeah, that's another thing. I've always been very musical. I'm not classically trained at all. I've been in a couple of bands. One of my bands got into Spin Magazine in the early days of Spin Magazine when that was still out.
Oh, yeah. That's
yeah,
cool.
Madonna was on the cover of that one, so it was a while ago. That was a while ago. But I sang in that band. It was called Erratic Sculpture. But then I've been this other band called the Yehudis, and we've been playing since like college. And I still write music with the guy who's the singer. Everybody else has kind of gone off and done their own thing, but we still write music together. And then so with Flippitoons, it's interesting you asked that because I've written music for all these things. So when the book, when the books, I already have songs up on Spotify actually for some of them.
Oh,
they're called my band name of me is it's called Myth Sonics, and it's up on Spotify. It's called Secret Soundtracks. So you can hear what's in my head for a lot of these things. I basically now write everything out of my house. So I've got a little recording studio set up inside my house. So I write a lot of music for it's kind of more theatrically because then some of them are more poppy. It just depends on what I want to write that day.
That is so cool. We'll talk a little bit more when we start talking about the Flippitoons campaign. Okay. I just want to get a couple more things. I just want to go over a couple things. I want to give a shout out to Dustin Holland of Superfan Promotion. Dustin, thank you very much for all your hard work behind the scenes and setting up this interview. So thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. And then I also want to let listeners know that I got some of my information from the dailydead.com website. And the title is called Exclusive Cover and Creature Reviewed from Jim Fletcher's Flippitoons Odditome of Deadlies and Dreadlies Volumes 1. Now, this article is written by Jonathan James. It came out on May 4th. So if you guys get a chance, please check out that article. All right.
Yeah, that was a good summary. Yeah.
All right. So, listeners, this part here, I'm gonna start talking about Flippitoons. We're gonna just have me and Jim are gonna have a little bit of fun, about it. Because I'm gonna ask Jim and we're gonna have fun with this. So,
okay,
Jim, what are Flippitoons?
Oh, now here come all the hard-hitting questions.
Yes.
So, Flippitoons, at their core, are basically monster or creature faces that we now call characters instead of characters because they're mostly scary that turn around. So they're one drawing. When you look at them one way, they're one monster, and then when you flip them around the other way, it's the same drawing but a different monster. Sometimes a different expression of the same monster, sometimes a totally different one. So that's basically at their core what they are. Each one of them actually, when the book comes out, each one of them also has a corresponding rhyme, and you can flip the entire book upside down and read it backwards or the other way because the rhymes rhyme with each other. So no matter what way you look at the book, the rhymes with when you turn the book one way, there's a rhyme. You turn the other way, those two rhymes rhyme.
Yes.
And then the monster heads are you flip them around, they're just different creatures on each side.
And then I'm going to ask too, because I've seen in the press release, please, how did you come up with how did you start? How did you come up with these?
That's a good question. So I was actually sitting around drawing one. I'm just like doodling stuff, and actually one of the pieces of paper literally fell. It fell off my drawing board, and it seemed to sort of turn kind of slowly when I was going to glide to the ground. And when I picked it up, I'm like, wow, that's like a different head that way. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of cool. So I kept seeing what other ones I could find in the wilds. And I was looking around and stuff. And there is a thing where you can see sometimes you see a face in a tree.
Yes.
Or in the back of a car, looks like a face or whatever. So that happens to me a lot. And I'm like, Oh, that's cool. So I just kept building it out from there,
Hmm.
to see what else I could, that I could find. And then I showed them to my friend James Martin, who's the writer
Hmm.
of the book now, and he got it immediately. He goes, these are scares that people have had, like all different kinds of things that have never gone away, and maybe they've gone off and morphed or changed into other things. So we're still building out a bigger world for them, but that's why he decided to call them characters, because
Hmm.
they're all kind of monster themed to some degree. Some of them are a little cuter, some of them are
Yeah.
pretty weird and creepy. So that was where the whole idea came from, basically.
Ah, okay. All right. So these characters, you know, um, how many creatures do you guys have you categorized? I mean, we're like, talking like something like an animal kingdom, like the breakdowns and
Exactly.
sea creatures or
Yeah, so I used to love those like old. There were these like field guides, right? I love those things, especially the old ones where people go out and just like find stuff and draw things. So at the moment, we have 13 categories that they're put in.
hmm.
So there's 13 sections of the book, and there's 13 creatures in each section at the moment. And then there's more that we're working on, hopefully for volume two. We'll see if
Yes,
that
yes.
was. But so right now there's over 160
Hmm.
in this one book.
That's
Um, and
cool.
there's already I've already drawn a bunch more, so we already have plans for expanding the world even further. It was really interesting to figure out which ones to put in what category. We had a lot of phone calls
Hmm.
back and forth, like, well, this one looks like this and this one's like that. So we put them in a lot, put them in a lot of sections, and that was a really fun part of the project, and working on the rhymes to kind of explain a little more about the character. That was also super fun, and that was a lot of thesaurus work.
Yeah.
Because, after a while, you're making that many rhymes, you're like, you don't want to repeat words, and you have to make
Hmm.
sure that the cadence works and everything. So that was really fun going back and forth and figuring all that stuff out.
All right. Now, what is Oddibiology? What?
Okay. So that's close. What's funny is I almost called it Oddibiology, but it's Oddibology. So
Oddibology.
I
Okay.
think most people will say what you said because it's pretty that's pretty close. So it's a I achieved a degree in the study of things that are unexplained
Yes.
after my time at Warner Brothers. So that's what this is. And there's going to be like badges and stuff, and we're going to make, hopefully we'll get little pins made and stuff. That basically,
Hmm.
when you're out in the field, see something weird, you can get yourself to be a certified oddibodologist. I'm like, look at this weird thing I saw.
Yeah.
So that's what that's all about. So and then we just use that. That's what we call ourselves when we're developing new ones. um, we're hoping to build that program out further, because we would like to bring a lot of people into that, like
Mhm.
print out people's degrees.
Yes, that'd be pretty cool. It would.
Well, you
That
know what? Since you're doing this interview, you're already now going to officially be you'll be an official one, and then you'll be an official new Oddibodologist. So we'll have to get your degree printed out and sent off to you.
thank you. All right.
The requirements are not that hard, as you can see. So
Now this is going to be a fun question. So your characters, they're out in the wild. You know, do for as an audiobiologist, you know, do you need to be like quiet and calm while you observe them in the wild? And where are they in the wild? Anywhere in the.
So they can be like anywhere from, open a closet under the typical under your bed monster. They could be in some unused place, haunted houses in the woods, in the sky. I mean, you can see them anywhere if you look for them, right? So they can be pretty much any place. We're still not sure exactly where they're all, if they're actually, where do they go after they're done being, scary? Because sometimes you outgrow your things you're scared of, right, when
Yeah.
you're a kid, and sometimes you don't. Like there's many times you just hold on, just kind of lurking around, and sometimes it's, out of the corner of your eye, you maybe see something, but you're not sure if you see it or not. So I think that's where a lot of these tend to live.
That's so cool. All right.
So yeah.
All right, Jim, we're gonna start getting to a little bit of the nitty-gritty part of the book.
Okay.
Okay, so now the um the Flippitoons book, it's a you mentioned it's a 224 page. It's a
Mhm.
10 by 10 deluxe hardcover book from Clover Press. So how did you team up with Clover Press to do this Kickstarter?
I actually, I actually had some experience working with Hank before
Hmm.
at Clover from DC, and I showed him what I was doing with this when I first started it, and he was like, "That's super crazy, and that's a pretty cool idea." So when I got further along, he was very supportive, and I just, presented to him, and he was all in like right away. So that was just up to me to get all my research done and get out in the field, get all the drawings done, and partner up with my pal James or other Jim as we call him, and then and that was it. I mean, Clover and their stuff's amazing. I mean, you see in their other art books.
Hmm.
I mean, it's incredible that I'm being in the same place that's putting out, books like they have like a Mike Zeck book coming out, I think
Yes.
now, and there's a Mike Allred book they put out. I mean, there's just some amazing books. I mean,
Hmm.
so being in the company of all those guys is really amazing. So I'm super happy to be a part of that team.
But Jim, I'm gonna say, because I've seen some of the designs and so forth. It's very good. It's you
Oh,
know,
thank you.
it is. No, it really is. And it's like, um, because it kind of leads me into this question, and I'm kind of wondering if you've mentioned Jack Kirby, and I'm just asking, was he one of your inspirations to do this book or the drawing? Because it,
100%. That Kirby's my go-to. When you make those lists of comic book artists,
yeah.
that's number one for me. There was a great Kirby exhibit at the Skirball Museum. I could have stayed there like the whole day.
Hmm.
Out here in California, it was amazing. But that's my go-to guy. I mean, when you look at all in the Fantastic Four, all the just stuff he'd throw into a panel, this
Hmm.
crazy machinery, like Galactus shows up out of nowhere, all these crazy aliens. I'm like,
Yes.
this guy this is amazing. So that he was a big inspiration for me for this thing, just because of the sheer volume of work that the
Hmm.
guy did. Like New Gods when he did New
Yes.
Gods at DC, that blew me away. I thought it was like I've got well, you can't see him, but Mr. Miracle comics were number ones right over there. So he was, I mean, just a matter of look. Here
So,
you go.
listeners,
See,
he's
look
grabbing
at the
his
shape it's in, pretty
Mr.
good.
Miracle #1, and it's in very good condition.
I got Forever People over here, number 3.
Hmm.
But anyway, yeah, I loved his stuff, and even when I was in college, it was funny when I was in college learning still how to draw. One of my professors actually asked anyone, which I couldn't believe, if anyone had heard of this book, How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. He says one of the best ways to draw dynamic pose he'd ever seen, and I'm like,
You're
me. I have a beat up copy. And that was amazing. Everyone else is like, and it was a fine art school. Everyone's like, what are you talking about? Comic
yes,
book drawing. He's
yeah.
like, it's legit a great way to learn dynamics. And everybody had to go buy it. It became one of the class books, and I already had one. So I was very happy about that. Um, but yeah, I tried to make, I wanted to make Flippitoons my own thing. I think they're very unique. I really tried to focus on a lot of that, making them my own thing, but really just with that whole world building thing in mind. And
Hmm.
James got right into that as well. And the fun thing was I could just let go, right? They're not, there's no like style guide to follow.
Yeah.
It's not a superhero. It's not,
Hmm.
it's not a universal monster. They're my own thing. So I could just go to town and whenever I would see them in my head or I thought they'd show up somewhere, I would just scribble it down really fast. Then I would go to my studio, draw them, and then I would bring them in to the computer. And I did that. I drew them all. The final drawings were all done in Illustrator,
Hmm.
um, because I'm crazy, because that was way more difficult. But they're pretty sharp and clean illustrations. I want to be able to use them to animate them and stuff like that. So I decided to do them that way. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but they're all drawn initially with that like a Sharpie pen in a note in a notebook somewhere.
I'm gonna ask, like, what were besides Jack Kirby, the artists? what were some of the other inspirations for this? Like, well, you mentioned Hammer. I remember we talked about like before. I think before the interview, you talked about Hammer films. Like,
I love Hammer films. I mean, I would literally have them running in the background a
Mhm.
lot of times when I was drawing these things, not for there's a cool monster, but the atmosphere was great. So they're not like crazy horrifying. I mean, obviously they're a little older too, right? So,
Yeah.
but you can pretty watch all of them, and you're not like they're not just insane. Like they're all those old horror, those 50s horror movies and stuff. They're just like more like they can have some scary moments, but you're not like you're not like freaking out.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
So I love all that kind of stuff, and that was a big inspiration that just ran in the back of my head for these. I mean, some of them you couldn't tell by looking at them. Some of them a little more obvious. Like there's a section in there where it's guys
Yeah. He's holding up a Frankenstein. Yeah.
it's like this guy Monsterian. That's I'd say you can say he's based on Frankenstein. There's a mummy in there. So there's a section for that kind of stuff, like those old school monsters, which I thought were scary when I was a kid, right? I mean, so I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
So that was a big thing on me, and I I read a lot of Japanese manga. There's this amazing stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
Character designs for One Piece are ridiculous. I mean, in a good way, in the best way possible.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many good. So I do look at a lot of different stuff, and then I just a lot of it gets incorporated somehow. Goes into like it goes into an alchemy stew in my head. Spills out all over the paper.
But the other thing, Jim, is is what I love about this is that, and it's not, and is that you have the book, but also too, but you didn't just stop with the drawings. I mean, you're a toy maker too, because you already pulled out this like Frankenstein mask where it's like you can put him one way, he looks he's looking one way, and then you could twist it around, but you did an actual 3D copy, and it's great, and it's painted, and you know.
Yeah. So Gene St. Jean is a guy I used to work with at DC. Was one of our great sculptors. We did a lot of Warcraft stuff together at DC DC Unlimited, which was another part of DC Direct. Anyway, I did a lot of work with him, and he did some really great stuff for me. Actually, one of my favorite statues we ever did. You probably can't see it, but it's this Superman from the Superman red statue line. Look at this cape.
Oh yes, it's. Yeah, it's all flowing behind him. He's kind of like almost in a superhero he's landing.
Yeah, this is a Lee Bermejo Superman. It was one of when Gene did this cape was one of the coolest things I ever saw. So I'm like, hey man, I'm making some of the characters, and I sent him the drawing of that Monsterian character, and then he busted it out and sent it back to me, and that was on the table at Comic-Con last year. I couldn't believe it was beautiful. And then a company I work with out here called SNL Creative did the final prototyping and painting and everything. It was amazing. And then some of the other ones lying around. Sam Greenwell was another great sculptor I worked with, and he helped me out with some of the other sculpts that were sitting around on the table. And they'll be at the show floor in San Diego too. So I couldn't help but make toys, right? That's my whole thing. That's my whole background is making toys. So yeah, they're cool. They're all hand. You'll see some more of them at San Diego. There's going to be some hand painted ones at the booth and stuff, which I'm painting those myself, and I had some friends output them for me. So, like that big one you saw off to the right there, that was pretty cool. That big giant, guy. So he looks pretty. And they're all going to be in these little dome. The ones at the show will all be in these little domes.
Mm-hmm.
You can't see it, but I'll show you because you can see it. Yes. So they come with they come with this little character dome, and there's like Toons logo in the base.
Yes.
And you can turn it, you can take them out, you can turn them in either direction. So there's this little, and this one's painted 2 different ways. He's this color on the front and on the back. So this one's actually 4 different things. Crazy.
That's amazing. Yeah. But what I love about this is, is that, Jim, is that, this is a very interactive, world that you've created. It's not just the books, it's not just turning the books, but you've included music, the figures, these character heads where you can turn it. Literally, people can turn it one way, and you could, collectors can buy it and put it in their on their and they
Yeah.
seem like if you make enough, you could make a collection out of it. And then correct me if I'm wrong, because on the left side, well, on your left hand, it looks like you've got like some is it that like pillows or something?
Oh yeah, we've got some. Yeah, there's throw pillows as well that are going to be yeah. There's the Monsterian this way,
Yes.
Constructicus this way, and then you've got a couple different ones. This one, the back's got the logo, but then you've got this bizarre. I even forget. That's funny. We did so many. I forgot. I forgot but there's there's going to be. I have a whole bunch of these being made, so they'll all be they're going to be at our booth, at the Clover booth. They're going to see a lot of the stuff around. So we're pretty excited about all of that.
But it's like the book that you've created, this world that you've created, it's very unique, and I love it. It's great.
Yeah, I'm glad you think so, because I really want to do something different. I hadn't really seen anything. I mean, like it in a big book format like this, and I think it's going to set the stage for a lot of other world building. Like I said, James and I have a bunch of other plans already for this thing, but the Clover book is the launch. It's like the linchpin for the whole thing, right? That's the one that's going to have all the information in it. I think when people see the book, I mean, there's some explanatory pages in there. We even have, I don't want to give too much away, but we may have captured some of them on camera that are in the book. So there's a lot of really fun stuff to read and learn about these things in the book. So yeah, it's just great that we figured out how to do the book. You can read it once you start going through the characters. You can read it any way you want. So there's no like front and back cover. It's like cover A and cover B, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And they've been great. I mean, working with Clover's just been fantastic. They've made it a really easy experience, just getting everything done. So
the other thing is that some of the pictures I've searched through on the just doing research on this is some of the pictures that they're provided I came across. The other thing I really love too is the vibrant colors.
Oh,
nice.
Thanks.
And it's nice and bold, and it's perfect with with the Flippitoons. It's great. It's
thanks. I really had to work on that too, because when I was, like I said, when I started drawing comics, everything was black and white, right? So I really had to learn a lot about color theory, and I did a lot of work doing a lot of graphics for a while, and that's where I really picked up on that. But I was trying to come up with really unique colors that sometimes clash with each other, sometimes are complementary. It just like this. Well, again, you can't. But the shirt is enough. Not that anyone, but you can see it. But it's got like one of them's this way and one of them's the other way. It's the same.
There's a two faces where
yeah, super bold. That's what I was really going for. I mean, some of them are more subtle than other ones, but yeah, for the most part, they're very bold. And you'll be able to see some of the animations on once the campaign goes live. Also, the website Flippitoons.com is under construction, but by the time this goes live, there will be animations up on that and more information as well.
Okay, all right. I'm going to start asking. I'm just asking, Jim. Do you know what the reward tiers are for the campaign, or?
I don't have that yet. Sorry.
Okay,
but,
no.
They will be good.
Yes,
that's say that. There'll be some good ones. So we're working on some of that stuff now. We have a lot of that stuff being it's all in development, but we'll have it by the 20th.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I know you shout outs. I know you already mentioned Hank from Cloverfield Press. You mentioned your partner in crime, the other Jim. Is there anyone else you want to give a shout out to?
Well, my family. I mean, they've been super supportive. They've really been great with just through this whole process. I mean, my wife is very patient as I stay up till like 3 or 4 in the morning drawing crazy monsters. So my family's been great. So I give them I like to give them a shout out every day because they're just amazing. And I'll give and honestly, the fan community and the collectors that supported DC Direct for as long as it did. I mean, they're still supporting it now. I mean, McFarlane's doing it. You know, they got the license. They're doing a lot of really nice stuff. So, but I do want to thank all the collectors out there that, you know, kept me working. I mean, without you guys, there would be no DC Direct. There would be no comic book industry. There'd be none of this stuff. And I really think that's something I have always be grateful for. Even when people would come up and complain about stuff, I'm like, you know what? That shows that they care about it. If you got time to complain about it, you probably care.
Yeah.
Right. And I always like getting feedback, even if I didn't always love it, but at least we would a lot of times take it into account. You know, and a lot of times you can't control every single part of the process, and there's other people involved. So a lot of times, even though I would get the frustrations, I'm like, there's only so much. It's like, even though there's only so much you can do to do everything. But yeah, but the fan community is great. I mean, Comic-Con's always really fun. The conventions are great. The people have always been amazing. So,
are there any plans to do either a comic book series or a graphic novel of either a certain character or some of your characters?
We would certainly love to do that. Like I said, I think this is the linchpin for the whole Flippitoons universe, and I think, you know, we'll be talking to them about, you know, carrying forward with that. But I would obviously be great to do a comic. It'd be pretty crazy. It would be a pretty crazy comic book. But I think you could do a lot with it, because I just love drawing these things, and really getting back to the drawing board for me has been great. Because when you're at the job I was at, it's like I could sit around drawing all day, because there was a lot of other things to figure out, you know, making stuff in China and manufacturing questions and all this. So it's like we could, you know, sit down doodling pictures all day. I did as much as I could, but, you know, now, you know, the chain's off. So I could draw all day if I feel like it. So which has been great and really refreshing. Just great to get out the drawing tools again.
All right. So listeners, I know, again, this is audio. Jim has shown me the shirt that he's wearing to promote the Flippitoons.
Sorry, listeners.
No, yeah. But again, you go to he'll have the Flippitoons website coming up soon. You know, you get to see, you know, some of the pictures on the Kickstarter page. You know, he's shown me the throw pillows. He's shown me, you know, some of the masks. Now, Jim, I want to, because since you're a toy maker and a collector, have you started to, quote unquote, no pun intended, toy around with the idea of making some of these characters into action figures?
Well, I mean, at the moment we have sculpts of a number of them that are, you know, they're more like statues, because, you know, that's a much more expensive proposition. But yes, that would be something I would love to do. I mean, I love action figures, so, but that's you know, then that's a lot more tooling. It's a lot more expensive to get them made. So at the moment, that's not on my immediate plan.
Yeah.
You know, if people are interested in this thing, and hopefully a lot of people will pick up this book and get interested in this world, then yeah, we would definitely pursue that, because I think there's a lot of opportunities for, you know, games and stuff like that with this. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you can do reversible clothing. There's like so many things you could do with, you know, and I think what's fun about this too is it really, you know, there are really two ways at looking at almost anything. You know, when you're arguing with somebody, or like this, like they said, there's always two sides to every argument. Right?
Yeah.
So, and with these things, like even if you have one of these statues, you can be like, oh, I'm in a grumpy mood, so I'm going to display it this way. And then you flip, well, I'm feeling better today. You turn around, it's like a happier face. So, you know, there's a lot of things like that you can do. There's also, we have a lot of plans. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
I'd like to do, and I can already see a lot of it, you know, how it would make sense for the toys and stuff like that.
Because you know, as we've talked about, yeah, it's you know, this is a world that you're slowly creating.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to see where it's going to go.
Me too. I mean, I don't even know. I mean, a lot of times, you know, when I talk to writers, I mean, sometimes they're like, well, I start writing something and it just goes off in a different direction. And that's definitely happened with these things. I'm like, I'm trying to draw whatever, some kind of crazy monster, and all of a sudden it'll just start changing. And I'm like, no, I'm just going to follow the pen.
Yes. Yeah.
I can see where it goes. I know it sounds weird, but sometimes when you're making these things like this, just kind of happens like a natural,
Mm-hmm.
progression. So, yeah. So I'm again, we're going to be. I'll be getting the word out. I'll keep putting stuff up on my Instagram page. This will be the first time I'm actually going to be posting myself drawing anything because usually I just don't. But maybe I'll turn the camera on and see me actually drawing stuff. But I've never really done any of that. But a lot of my friends have, but I just haven't. So maybe I'll do that.
And speaking of Instagram, thank you for reminding me because I forgot to ask you, where can listeners follow you and see more of the or some of the maybe the Flippy tunes that didn't make it into the book or.
Oh yeah. So it's Fletcher Graphics, GRAFFIX.com. So
Okay.
that's me on Instagram. So
Okay.
yeah, want to give me a follow? That'd be great. You'll be obviously there'll be stuff up there as well. As now this is starting to really build. So I'll be peppering my Instagram with this stuff as well as the once the website's up and running, which will be by the launch day. So I want people to be able to go and see more things. So.
Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm slowly wrapping things up. Actually, slowly wrapping things up because before I start asking a couple more questions, before I start wrapping things up,
Okay.
listeners, again, I'm sorry, this is audio because Jim has an amazing shelf, behind him of statues, comics. But I need to ask Jim, you have this life-size figure behind you.
Oh,
I want to ask you, what is that? It's like a black object thing. It looks.
okay. So I am gonna bring this computer closer so you can see it. Even though,
Well, just
sorry,
for me,
everybody
yes.
else. So it's a little beat up, and I'm repairing it. This is a full size Batman statue made out of figures. So if you look at this, I don't know. Is this too close? Can you see this?
No, I can see it made out of figure. I see Legos. I see.
Yep.
Oh,
This stuff.
oh yeah,
So,
there's the bat plane from the animated
there's a
series.
Funko Batman up there. There's
Oh
all kinds of.
yes.
So there's one little piece shifted off, which I'm going to be repairing. I got to put his ears back on, but yeah, the whole thing, the whole thing.
Wow.
So I made this for this was at San Diego Comic-Con, I think 2 years ago. Yeah, I guess so. That's when. So I built this whole thing, and it's funny. So this was actually for a licensing exhibiting thing that they wanted to build it for first. But then we started dragging it around to different events. It's held up really well, as you can see. I mean, it's only a couple little things missing, but yeah, that was quite a project. So basically, we were found. Warner Brothers had a warehouse full of this old stuff, and they're like, we didn't know what to do with it. I'm like, I think I can make a Batman statue out of that. They're like, really? I'm like, send it. So they would send boxes of stuff to me, old stuff that they just weren't using anymore for weeks. And I just it took about 2 weeks, I think, to do it, or maybe a little more. I don't remember, but it was quite a project. And I didn't have a layout, right? I just had to wing it because I didn't know what I was going to get every day. So stuff would just show up. I'm like, oh, that works there.
Yeah.
So it kind of built itself. Well, not really, because I got the burns to prove it.
Oh God.
But yeah, thank you. I know it looks pretty amazing. There are some shots of this on my Instagram page. I think I even did a build out video a little bit, but yeah, that thing's pretty. I do want to patch it the rest of the way up because it is pretty cool.
That is nice. I mean, Jim, yeah, like you said, once the ears come on, it's like, oh,
yeah,
that's pretty amazing that you use like figures and.
I do have the ears. I just got to reattach them.
That's from the
Oh, does he know?
The ears are from is it from the Batman Forever Batmobile?
Oh my goodness, you are good, man. That's exactly where they're from.
Okay.
Wow. So good. Oh yeah, I just put them there for now. But yes, that is exactly where they're from. That's a really good. That's a good catch, man. Nice. listeners, this man knows his stuff. You need to listen to him. If he knows if you know what that part is, that's very impressive.
Well, that was a wild guess. Let's put it that way.
Still, I mean, I think most people would not have made that guess. So that's pretty good. Yeah.
All right, Jim. You mentioned you're going to be at San Diego Comic-Con.
Yes.
Don't worry about what table number, because people will find you.
Okay.
And then I'll
follow up and send you the booth number if you
want. Right,
I just have to go look it up.
And then you're gonna have some of the Flippitoons mask and statues at the table where people can really look at it. And
well, obviously the books, they'll be at our booth and the Clover booth as well. So so we'll have a little display there. So we're at a I'm very excited. That's such a great show. I mean, it's exhausting, but it's great. It's so great. So any chance you're going to be there, because you're coming up from Hawaii, right?
Actually, I'm going to say I've never been to San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh, dude, it's crazy.
Yes.
I'm sure you've got some out there. I haven't been to Hawaii yet either. So there you go. I do need to get there.
Are you going to, what about other conventions besides San Diego? Are you going to be during the summertime or for the rest of 2026?
I'm not sure. Maybe LA Comic-Con, but I with a friend of mine. I'm not sure yet. So because I've been all focused on this book and getting it done. So this is the main push for this year, and then I think my show schedule will get a little busier after that.
Okay. And then last question, any closing words to our listeners?
Well, I hope you guys, and when the thing goes live, I hope you enjoy what you see, and hope you're excited about funding it as I was in making it. I just I think it's a really original, unique thing to have, and I'm really excited to get it out there. And this community has been great in the past, so I know it's not Batman or Superman, but maybe it'll be cool for you because it's very different than any of those things.
Jim, mahalo. Thank you in Hawaiian. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to interview you. I wish you all the success on this Kickstarter.
Thank you.
Yeah. So listeners, this Kickstarter campaign, Flippitoons, the Odditome of Deadlies and Dreadlies, Volume 1 through Clover Press. The campaign is gonna start on May 20th. The notification page is up, so check out the page, hit the notification button. When this Kickstarter goes live, I'm going to encourage you, please just check it out. Check out what some of the reward tiers are on there. I've already seen some of the promotional artwork. It's very good. I love, because the artwork is a very bold style, very bold colors. Jim, I'm sorry, I'm gonna, the closest thing I can compare the artwork to is Jack Kirby. That's the thing.
I'm not gonna cry about that.
Because it's just very striking, and it's very good, and it's just the colors, it just grabs you. And also too, it's like, just talking to Jim, is that he's created this world that it's very interactive. The music is already out on Spotify. There's already there's some rhyme, poems or rhymes in the book, and it's an interactive book where you can turn it around either way. That's very good. The other thing too is he's already showed me some statues, during this interview. They've made masks, they've have throw pillows. So this is a very interactive world. And Jim, like I said, I wish you all the success, not only for this campaign, but I just hope that you get the opportunity to really expand a little bit more, and I think right now, maybe just to start off with is just maybe, I would love to see some, like a one-shot, comic book or graphic novel, just to see where this world goes.
That would certainly be cool. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, thanks for all the kind words. I mean, it's really been a labor of love to get all these monsters out there, and my writer on the book, James Martin, has been amazing on pulling everything, helped me pull this whole idea together. So,
no, but yes, but like I said, Jim, this is going to be good. And listeners, if you guys are going to be at San Diego Comic-Con this summer, stop by their Clover Press booth. Also try to look for Jim Fleck. Jim, are you going to have a table there, or you can be?
So I am at a booth. And it won't be it probably won't be listed in the catalog. But I do have I'm not in the artist alley. I'm over in the rest of the show floor. I literally can't remember the number off the top of my
fine.
head, which I should have had.
No, that's fine. That's fine. But if you guys are going San Diego Comic-Con, look up for Jim S. Fletcher's, try look it up, because again, it's some of the masks that he's provided and showed me. It's amazing. It's very good. It's really good. So yeah.
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah. So yeah, well, thanks again, man. This has been a fun interview. I mean, we could go on and on all day talking about our love of comics and pop culture if we wanted to. But yeah.
I just want to give a quick shout out to Drew, the Codes of Comics for Fun and Profit. Drew, thank you very much for all your hard work behind the scenes. And I want to thank you, the listeners. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for listening to this episode. Until next time, guys. Aloha.
In a cluttered room by a flickering light, old Jim was sketching deep into the night. A monster fell sideways off the edge of the desk, turned upside down and became something else. One face was laughing, one face would bite. One side brought shadows, the other brought light. Now the walls are whispering, flip the page again. And every creepy creature's got a terrible twin. Flip your world upside down, hear the Flippitoons howl and clown. Deadlies, Dreadlies screaming in your head. One side's living, the other side's undead. Flipping heads, creepalicious dreams in black and red. Every scar actor's got two souls instead. Professor Fletcher, the silent set, catalog odd things nobody guessed. With James Martin riding through the Flippiverse haze, chasing bizarre beasts through dimensional maze. Oddibiologists draw the line thin between imagination and the monsters within. Every rhyme keeps twisting when you turn it around, like carnival ghosts singing underground. Flip your world upside down, hear the Flippitoons howl and clown. Deadlies, Dreadlies crawling from the page, a haunted toy box breaking from its cage. Flipping heads, turn the book and wake the things you dread. Every nightmare smiles with two-faced heads, from DC direct shadows to statue lines of fame, bombshells and black and white Batmen. Now the Flippitons reign. 30 seconds of Flippimation, singing crooked lullabies. Every creature's got inversion, staring through your eyes. Flip your world right side up, drink the weirdness from the cup. Exposure to Oddibiology may result in spontaneous flipping.